Welcome to the deep dive. And believe it or not, this is actually our 100th deep dive. We're looking into a whole stack of fascinating sources today. As you know, the aviation world is constantly buzzing, always evolving. We're seeing massive new aircraft orders, airlines stretching their wings into new territories, and of course, everyone's striving for that top tier passenger experience. So, our mission, like always, is to unpack the very latest. We'll pull out the key facts, the surprising insights from recent reports. The goal is to give you a quick but thorough understanding of where this whole industry is flying. We'll look at who's buying what, where new routes might be taking you, and which airlines are getting the big awards right now. Okay, let's get into it. Let's kick things off with fleet expansion and renewal. It's a dynamic area, isn't it? These aren't just simple purchases. They're huge financial and strategic bets that shape how we all travel. So the big question is, what does this latest wave of deals tell us about the future shape of global airline fleets?
But it really shows a mix of strategies. There's incredible variety and scale. We're seeing action across different types of planes in different regions. Take Taiwan's Starlux Airlines, for instance. They've just ordered 10 A350-1000s. And that's actually on top of an earlier commitment they made for 8.
Ah, so an incremental order, expanding ambitions there.
Exactly. Signals big long-term growth plans, especially for their long-haul, wide-body operations. Then over in the U.S., you've got SkyWest. They placed a really substantial order, 16 firm Embraer E175s. But the interesting part is the options.
Options, how many?
A huge number, 94 options in total. That includes securing delivery positions way out to 2032, plus even more options beyond that. It locks in their regional jet growth for a long time.
Wow, that's planning ahead.
Definitely. And still in the U.S., JSX Air signed a letter of intent and LOI for 15 firm ATR 42-600s plus 10 options.
An LOI, so not quite a firm order yet, but close.
Right. It shows strong intent. Deliveries for those are planned from 2026, and they're also leasing 2 more ATRs that are due even sooner, next year in 2025.
That is quite a mix. Regional jets, larger turboprops. What about other parts of the world? Any significant moves?
Oh, absolutely. Down in South Africa, Airlink is leasing 10 brand new Embraer E195 E2s. They're getting those from Azora, and deliveries start later this year.
The E2, Embraer's newer generation.
Precisely. And Egypt Air, they've ordered 6 more A350-900s, building on 10 they already had on order. Those deliveries start this year, too. And let's not forget cargo. Turkey's MNG Airlines signed an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, for 2 A350 freighters. These will slot right into their existing fleet, which is already all Airbus freighters.
Okay, lots happening, but you mentioned one deal was particularly significant strategically.
Yes, LOT Polish Airlines. This was a good one, announced during the Paris Air Show. They ordered 40 A220s, 20 of the smaller Nevada 100s, and 20 of the larger Nevada 300s. Plus, they secured purchase rights for another 44.
40 firm, 44 rights. That's huge for LOT. What's the strategy?
It's all about their long-awaited regional fleet renewal. These A220s are set to completely replace their existing Embraer fleet. We're talking E170s, E175s, E190s, E195s, even their few E195 E2s.
Wait, replace all their Embraers. But wasn't a lot of big Embraer customers?
Huge. They were the global launch customer for the E-Jet family way back in March 2004. And right now, they're the largest European operator of that original E1 family.
So this is a major shift, moving to Airbus for their regional fleet.
A really significant strategic pivot. It's actually the first time LOT will operate Airbus aircraft in-house like this. Pratt & Whitney Canada, by the way, will supply the PW1500 engines for these new A220s.
So, pulling this all together, what does this activity mean for you, the listener? It shows airlines are playing different games. Some are going for big, long-term modernizations like LOT. Others are making very specific, targeted regional buys. And all this demand, well, it keeps manufacturers like Airbus, Embraer, Boeing on their toes, pushing innovation. Ultimately, it shapes the planes you'll be flying on in the coming years.
Okay, so they're buying the planes. But where are they flying them? Let's shift focus to route expansion. Airlines are always looking to connect new dots on the map, right? Opening up new travel possibilities. And this is where things can get, well, really interesting and sometimes complex. Let's look at Greater Bay Airlines as a case study here. What are they up to?
Right, Greater Bay Airlines, or GBA, based in Hong Kong. They're making a pretty ambitious move towards the U.S. market. They've filed for a U.S. Foreign Air Carrier Permit, the FACP.
And FACP, that's the official permission slip to fly scheduled services to the U.S.
Exactly. Their plan is to start services from Hong Kong International. The first target destination is Saipan. Saipan, in the Northern Mariana Islands, a U.S. territory.
Correct. Then the plan is to follow that up with flights to Guam International, another U.S. territory.
Okay, Saipan first. What are the details on that route? And you mentioned complexity. What are the hurdles?
The Saipan route is tentatively penciled in for the winter 2025-26 season. Just twice a week to start, using their Boeing 737-800s. That would be their official entry into the U.S. market. Guam is eyed for 2026, using the larger 737-9s. And that's where the challenge lies.
The 737-9s, what's the issue?
Delivery delays. GBA has 15 of these 737-9s on firm order with Boeing, but deliveries have been held up. Boeing had paused all deliveries to China for a while due to, let's say, broader geopolitical tensions between the U.S. and China.
Ah, so those tensions directly impact airline expansion plans.
Absolutely. Deliveries are supposed to restart, but GBA hasn't apparently received an updated timeline for their specific aircraft yet. So right now, their operational fleet is 8 737-800s. They also have a non-binding commitment for 5 77 Dreamliners, which shows longer-term, long-haul ambitions.
Interesting. And what about the airline itself? Anything noteworthy revealed in that permit application?
Yeah, the ownership structure is laid out. GBA is wholly owned by a Hong Kong company, East Pacific Holdings. It's co-owned by 3 Hong Kong nationals. And one of them, Wang Qiubao, is quite significant because he also owns Donghai Airlines and Donghai Jet over in mainland China.
So connections across the border there. It really shows how intertwined aviation can be with other business and, well, political factors. When you think about it, what really stands out about the complexities here? Opening new international routes today seems like more than just buying planes and picking destinations. It highlights how much goes into it, right? Securing permits, timing aircraft deliveries, navigating those geopolitical currents. It's definitely not just drawing lines on a map. Okay, so all these big decisions, fleet buys, new routes, they ultimately lead to one thing, the passenger experience. So who's really hitting it out of the park? Who's delivering that top service? That brings us to the Skytrax World Airline Awards, a moment to recognize the airlines truly raising the bar. Let's unpack the 2025 results.
Indeed. And the big winner, yet again, is Qatar Airways, named the world's best airline for 2025. That's their 9th time taking the top spot. Just extraordinary consistency.
9th time. Wow. What else did they win?
They also scooped up world's best business class and world's best business class airline lounge for their Al Morjan Garden Lounge. It really speaks volumes about their focus on a unified, premium experience across the board.
Incredible dominance. Who else was in that elite top 5 globally, and what made them stand out?
Okay, so after Qatar at number 1, we have Singapore Airlines at number 2. They're a 5-time overall winner themselves, so always strong contenders. Then Cathay Pacific climbed up to number 3 this year. Emirates is at number 4. And ANA, All Nippon Airways from Japan, is number 5.
Singapore at number 2. Did they win any specific categories?
They did. World's best cabin crew, often seen as a hallmark of Singapore Airlines, and world's best first-class suites. Plus, they were named best airline in Asia overall. Very strong showing.
Okay. Any surprises or interesting stories further down the list? Maybe a rising star?
Definitely. A really notable one is StarLoX Airlines from Taiwan. They were named World's Most Improved Airline. That's a big nod to their quality enhancements. And perhaps even more significantly, they received their official 5-star airline rating from Skytrax for the first time.
A 5-star rating. That's the top tier, right? Very exclusive club.
Extremely exclusive.
Yeah.
It signifies the highest standards of product and service consistently, both on the ground and in the air. StarLoX, joining that group, now 11 airlines globally, shows how a newer carrier can make a huge impact by prioritizing quality right from the start.
That is a rapid ascent for StarLoX. Any other winners that highlight maybe different niches or aspects of the flying experience?
Oh, for sure. Look at the leisure market. Air Transat, the Canadian airline, won World's Best Leisure Airline again. That's 3 years in a row, and their 7th time overall. Shows real focus.
Specializing pays off.
It seems so. And thinking about different passenger needs, Lufthansa was recognized as the world's most family-friendly airline.
Family-friendly, what does that entail?
Skytrax looks at things like family seating policies, dedicated check-in, priority boarding for families, kids' meals, amenities, entertainment options, even luggage policies, and how helpful the staff are to families. It shows airlines are really thinking about specific traveler groups now.
That's a great focus. What about the low-cost carriers? Always a competitive space.
Hugely competitive. And AirAsia continues its incredible run. World's best low-cost airline for the 16th consecutive year.
16th? That's unbelievable longevity.
It really is. Speaks volumes about their model. Scoot, Singapore Airlines low-cost arm, won world's best long-haul low-cost airline, showing budget options are working even on longer flights. And regionally to Europe, Germany's Eurowings won Best Low-Cost Airline in Europe for the first time. Allegiant took it for North America, JetSmart for South America, and Indigo for India-South Asia.
Okay, and what about regional airlines overall, not just low cost?
And Bangkok Airways continues to dominate there. World's best regional airline for the ninth year running. Very consistent. And Star Alliance picked up the award for World's Best Airline Alliance.
So, when you look at all these winners across all these categories, what's the main takeaway for our listeners, for you traveling?
I think it really underscores the intense competition, but also the constant drive for innovation. Airlines are clearly investing heavily in planes, routes, lounges, food, staff training, digital services, everything.
They're pushing boundaries everywhere to try and earn your business and loyalty.
Exactly. The standards keep rising because the competition is so fierce.
Right. We've certainly covered a lot of ground today in this, our 100th deep dive. We went from those huge aircraft orders that literally shaped the future of travel to the tricky strategic moves airlines make, opening new routes like we saw with Greater Bay, and finally landing on that relentless pursuit of excellence, recognized by awards like Skytrax. And remember, these aren't just abstract industry headlines. This directly impacts how you will travel the planes, you'll fly, the routes available, the experience you can expect. It's all driven by these forces.
Oh. Absolutely. And if we just take a step back and connect these dots, what we see is an industry that, despite all the challenges, fuel costs, geopolitics, environmental pressures, it keeps showing remarkable resilience. And this constant commitment to innovation, it's what keeps making our world more connected for both passengers and for cargo, too. Which really leads to a final thought, maybe a question for you to ponder. How will all these developments, the new fleets, the expanding networks, the rising service standards, how will they collectively reshape global air travel over, say, the next decade? What kind of future skies do you envision?